Hi, and welcome back to another video. Today, I thought it would be fun to talk about, how I read over 200 books last year and just some of my tips in somebody who wants to read more or maybe wants to get into reading. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna preface this by saying, please, don't force yourself to read as much as I did. I am someone who's been reading for a very long time and has been reading a variety of books by a variety of different authors and a variety of different genres and spaces. So for me, I have kind of built up to reading as much as I have. It's not something that I just started doing randomly, that I was like, I'm going to read this many books in a year. But in last year, in 2022, I read over 200 books. I think the final number is like 217 total books. And so these are just a couple of tips that I think are best for people who are maybe wanting to read more, who are starting to read more, who want to potentially even get to those higher goals. So the first tip is you're really finding your genre and then diversifying the subgenre that you're reading. So for me, I am a big romance reader. That is the genre that I love. I'd say at the end of 2021, early 2022, I realized that is the genre that I love to read. And I do read, other genres as well, but I realized this is the genre that I know that I can probably find a book in that I'm going to enjoy. And then finding those subgenres, so switching it up. Yes, I do like romance, but I'm going to read a sports romance, and then I'm going to read, maybe a mafia romance, or maybe an academia romance, or maybe a fantasy romance. Whatever kind of subgenres within that, and diversifying that, so that then you're not just only reading, sports romances, let's say, because that can get a little tiring and a little bit, like you're reading the same book over and over again. So kind of diversifying that subgenre. The second tip is really knowing when to stop reading a book and even just taking a break from reading. This is something that I learned last year. I rarely ever at all before last year DNF'd or did not finish a book because I would get so wrapped into I just want to finish it. Yes, it's not my favorite or I don't like it, but I just want to get it done and I just want to finish it. But realizing it's okay to stop reading a book, even if, everyone told you to read the book. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You can put it down. You can find another book that you're going to enjoy. And even taking a break from reading. There were a couple of times last year where I did read a lot in, let's say, a week or two, and I was like, I want to take a day or two off, and then I do that. And it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to make adjustments in how you read. And that goes into the third tip, changing up how and where you're reading. For me, I am somebody who likes physical books and ebooks, so I kind of switch off. I always kind of have this rule of thumb that if it's not on Kindle Unlimited, I'm probably going to buy the physical copy to read the book. And then on Kindle Unlimited, I'll read Kindle Unlimited, which, if you don't know what Kindle Unlimited is, it's a subscription service where you can, through Amazon, where you essentially pay, I think it's $10 or $9.99 a month, and you get access to millions of books on their platform. Basically, these are a lot of independent authors, or maybe authors who are kind of newer to writing. They'll put their book on Kindle Unlimited since it's free with the subscription, and then normally they're priced not that high on Kindle if you don't have Kindle Unlimited. And then really changing up where you're reading is another tip. Maybe you are somebody who likes to read in your house, but maybe try during the summertime to read outside, just to change the scenery a little bit for you to continue that kind of playing with your brain, getting that dopamine, allowing it to kind of do something new. The fourth tip is creating a tracker. This is also something I didn't do before last year, and it also helped me get to my goal and get to continuing past my goal as well. So I used Goodreads. Some people don't like Goodreads. I have a love-hate relationship with it, since you can't do partial star ratings. You have to either do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there are some apps that do that. Some people even make their own spreadsheets in Excel, where they kind of track the amount of pages they're reading, the amount of books, the ratings, those sort of things. And then I would also say, with a tracker, don't overthink, if you're not reading a book, a certain way, or you're not rating it like everyone else. Rate it how you feel. who cares what everybody else is doing? Like, you're gonna either enjoy the book or not enjoy it, or there's gonna be pieces you like and don't like that other people may have liked or not liked. And then the fifth tip is really reading books at different lengths. I don't mind reading a really long book, but if I do read a really long book that's, maybe 800-900 pages, I'm gonna want to probably read something shorter next. So diversifying, again, kind of the length of books that you're reading, as well as, diversifying who you're reading and where you're reading and how you're reading, like I mentioned before, kind of diversifying the whole setting and the whole setup of what you're doing. And kind of an extra tip, or kind of into that of different lengths of books and really understanding and finding that space, is knowing when you're in a reading slump, when you're kind of in a hurt where you're like, I don't actually want to read right now, and that's totally okay. And kind of finding your way to get back into reading. There were moments last year where I didn't read for like a week or two because I was just like, I don't feel like reading. And that's totally fine. But for me, I am somebody that, for me to get back into reading, I sometimes need to slow roll back into it. So I might read, something that I do is I read novellas, which are shorter books, normally about, I'd say, under 200 pages. Normally if they're around 100 to 125 pages. Some are a little bit shorter than that, some are a little bit longer. They only take you a couple of hours. But it's that dopamine release of like, oh cool, I just finished this book in an afternoon. This is super awesome. I'm super excited, which helped me kind of get out of any of those reading slumps. So those were just a couple of my tips in regards to reading more and getting back into reading and how I read so many books. For 2023, my goal is to read 125 books. Now, I am still on pace, but I'm thinking that I'm probably going to read a little bit more than that. I don't think I'm going to read over 200 books again in a year, because it was a lot, and I was a bit tired at the end of the year last year because of how much I was reading. So kind of figuring out, again, that balance is really kind of a big thing for this year. But I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys take some tips just to kind of enjoy reading a little bit more. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to follow me on other platforms. And I hope everybody has a great day. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!